Welcome to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast.
My name is Jen Clark.
And I'm Elka Clark. We are a mother-daughter team who started our Zazzle e-commerce businesses over 10 years ago and have sold $15 million and counting of products on Zazzle with our designs on them.
We had so many people asking us how we did this, so we created our signature course, the Profit by Design Academy, which teaches our 5 strategies for success on Zazzle.
When we aren't helping creative entrepreneurs just like you create profitable e-commerce businesses, we love cooking food from places all over the world that we've traveled to, jet setting to our next dream destination, spending quality time with our close friends and family, or having fun creating our next bestsellers in our Zazzle businesses.
In this podcast, we share actionable steps you, the creative, can take to make money in your e-commerce business on Zazzle. Each episode will take you one step closer to achieving freedom with your time, location, and finances.
We believe that you can have anything you dream of, as long as you work smarter, not harder. And we're here to give you the tools you need to make your dreams happen. Let's get started. Well, hey there, it's Elka.
And Jen, and welcome to another episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast. And today we're talking about the wedding market and how you can profit in the wedding market in 2021 on Zazzle.
I'm excited because certainly the wedding market was affected by 2020 because of COVID, and sometimes it might even be affected into the future because COVID's still around. However, there are plans and people are making changes to how they're getting married or, what the circumstances are around how they're going to be married. And we can profit from that based on the trends that are happening. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, we want to give you an idea about how lucrative the wedding market is for anyone who's on the e-commerce space, like we are on Zazzle. We can profit from that really big time. So let's look at some stats.
Yeah. So why is it important to think about getting into the wedding market is because this year there is going to be 2.77 million people getting married. I'm reading my stats now versus the normal year, which is usually about 2.12 million people. So
it's like 650,000 more couples getting married.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get married in 2020.
Yeah.
That's the estimate from, what is it again? It's from Wedding Report Inc.
Yeah.
And they're they're obviously into weddings and they know what they're talking about. And so, that just creates opportunity. So, and then what's the other stat we found? Yeah, that was
the
cool.
The 2001 average spending of a wedding will be around $21,000. So $21,600
yeah.
to 21.6K. 22,000. We'll round it up.
We're rounding up.
So, okay, so the average person or average wedding will cost about $22,000 in 2021. So that's how much money they're going to be spending on their wedding.
So, and if we take that with the 2.77 million couples, that means it's a $60 billion industry. Yeah. And obviously, they're not going to spend it all on wedding invitations. They're going to spend it on all kinds of other things, clothing, like dress and whatever. But there is a portion that's always spent on all of the things that we as e-commerce sellers on Zazzle can really leverage, right? Whether that be the stationery, anything to do with decorations, anything to do with keepsakes, we're set. We have a lot of opportunity for profit within the 2021 year on Zazzle. And we're going to talk about some of the key things that we're going to focus on over the course of this year to get ready for this market that's ready to buy.
Yeah. So just to recap really quickly, because I want that to sink in.
Yeah.
This year, spending on weddings will probably be about a $60 billion space. And so you definitely want to get in on that if you are thinking about it and you've been on the fence. If weddings isn't your thing, then don't worry about it. But if weddings has been something in the back of your mind where should I try it or should I shouldn't? This is time to actually take action because this year is going to be a huge boom in weddings because, as Elka mentioned, people postponed their weddings in 2020. And now in 2021, there's a little bit more safety, a little bit more precautions. People are starting to actually plan and do the things that they wanted to do last year. So there's a huge influx and a huge jump in numbers of the people who are getting married in 2021.
Yeah. And even if it's not the way they thought they were going to get their, do their wedding with a huge guest list and so on, they might find alternatives. So that's what we're going to talk about with some of these trends that are happening as well. because they're still going to get married and they're not waiting any longer.
Yeah. So in this episode, we want to talk about 7 key trends that are happening in weddings in 2021. I'm just going to list them out right now. I'm going to read them off, and then we will dive deep into each one.
Yeah. And we've gotten these from insider.com. So thank you so much. And they really helped us understand. And like we kind of knew anyway, because of the things that we're already selling on Zazzle. But this is really helpful to have it from some other source so that we can have some external research that we're going to use to make sure that we're making good business decisions. And then that's also why we're starting to see all these things happening already. And that's why we can recommend you pursuing some of these trends and using your Zazzle business to leverage what people are doing based on the situation that they're in, right? With all this stuff happening with COVID and they still wanting to get married. So it's kind of cool how people are getting really ingenious with how they're still going to do their wedding, make sure it's the most memorable thing ever, and not let COVID stand in their way.
Yeah, no, I know it's wonderful. I mean, getting married is a special event. And even though that COVID happened, people are still working their way around to making it the best day that they can possibly make it.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Life goes on.
Yes. Okay, so the 7 key trends in 2021 for weddings. So smaller wedding guest lists, multiple celebrations for one wedding, green and white florals will be less popular themes, more elopements will take place, live streaming the ceremony will be more common, DIY decor is coming back in style, bachelor and bachelorette parties will stay away from bars and crowded venues and will take place at house rentals through sites, Airbnb, and like small little staycation type things instead.
Those are like 7 really key points. And as soon as I read those, it's like, oh, I know exactly what I need to do on Zazzle to really profit. So now what we're going to do is give you some tips on each of those trends so that you can be as profitable as well.
Yeah. So here are some opportunities for Zazzle designers taking those 7 key trends in weddings in 2021 and giving you some insight on like a Zazzle designer perspective of it.
So let's start with the first one, smaller guest list.
Yeah.
So do you want to do that or should
Go for it.
Okay, so obviously, even though the guest list is smaller, we're going to ask you to continue to make the paper products because even if the guest list of physical people being there, people are going to want that wedding invitation to be like a keepsake. And so people who weren't able to come would probably still get an invitation, maybe just a variation in the wording as to what would be on that invitation, right? Consider virtual streaming, which we're going to get to in a little bit more detail later, and other ways that others could be involved, even if they can't physically be there. And so that's really important. We also want to make sure that you're working on things like postponement instead of save the dates, postponed, or like a new date, and things where you're updating your guests that this has changed, the date's changed, or this has changed, or how the wedding's happening has changed. And so a lot of information cards and things like that are going to be really popular.
Yeah.
In addition to the wedding invitations, the formal thing.
You've also written down here that you need to have instructions on how to stay safe or be healthy. You've probably seen them around in shops or any places that you've been in restaurants like lately where they have these notices that say, keep 2 meters apart, keep your distance, wash your hands, stay safe, wear a mask. So you can definitely make these posters or types of stationery items for guests to be informed about health safety precautions as well.
And of course, masks, hand sanitizer, wipes, all the things that are actually specifically sold on Zazzle right now to help stay safe and will maybe be part of what the guests need to do in order to be part of the whole event in the physical space. That also could be themed with the wedding details, and the floral, design that's on the wedding invitation could be on the mask. And so everything matches and is matchy and coordinated. Brides will love that. And you'll get extra income because you're going to sell all these accessories.
Yeah. So the next key point is multiple celebrations for one wedding. So this means that on top of everything that we just spoke about with invitations and masks, etc., you can basically double it for having or triple it or quadruple it for another event that might be happening. And I know that some of our students and myself included have sold multiple different like mini sets of different types because sometimes the wedding, like the bride now has an event with her family, an event with his family, an event with maybe family and friends on Zoom. So she can actually, or the bride or whoever's buying these things can actually play around with different opportunities for different designs, different colorways, and also having those different items for the different specific groups of people. So you're able to like multiply your income in terms of the fact that now people are being invited to multiple different events and it's not just one big wedding, it's smaller little groups of things happening.
Yeah, I think it's actually an ingenious idea.
Mm-hmm.
And the bride and the groom, they get more parties.
Yeah. Have you heard about our popular wedding invitation bootcamp yet?
It's for you, the Zazzle designer who wants to break into the $78 billion wedding market, but you're struggling with how to create a proper wedding suite. The bootcamp helps you with design, choosing the proper product types to design on, and all there is to know about wedding invitation etiquette.
It is also for you if you are already in the wedding niche on Zazzle, but want to improve your sales or are currently struggling with adapting to the changes that have happened because of COVID-19 and the pandemic. You will learn what products are currently selling and how to design for weddings happening in these uncertain times.
Profiting from the wedding niche on Zazzle has never been easier. You can find the link to enroll in the bootcamp in the show notes. Okay, now back to the show.
So the third point is green and white florals will be less popular. Warmer hues like burnt orange.
So this is our thing now. We're going to suggest to you, just do we've already looked at this trends and have been confirmed with other things that we've been looking at. And so instead of all these white and green foliage types and like muted whitish cream flowers, it's back into color. And so the colors are anything to do with burnt orange, deep burgundy, vibrant purple. They're all making a comeback, which is awesome, right? Some color back into the wedding niche, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I know, I like playing around with color. It's been a long time coming.
So get designing.
Yes. So number 4 is more elopements will take place. And so this is where you can add time for announcements and accessories, like say we've eloped or we're now married or celebrate the new couple. A lot of couples and engaged, like even like recently engaged / recently married couples, they buy a lot of stationery to just announce things. And like they have a really pretty picture of themselves on the on the card and some like text explaining what's happening. So elopement cards have been extremely popular and probably will be very popular going forward. Or just even an announcement, like now you're able to, or the bride is able to announce to their whole guest list that they finally got married if they did a ceremony on Zoom or a private ceremony with the judge, in court, rather than having a big wedding. So they want to announce the fact that now they're married. And so they're sending out all of these really cool announcements and cards and stationery items to their family members and friends that have not been able to take part in the actual ceremony.
Exactly. So lots of opportunities.
Yeah. The next one, live streaming the ceremony will become more popular and more common. So you might think that, well, okay, everybody's just going to be invited on Zoom then, so there's no point to doing wedding invitations. But the thing is that people still want to have that formality and have that like elegance to the whole fact that their wedding has now been completely turned upside down and they have to like abide by the new rules, so to speak. So they're probably and still most likely going to be sending out invitations, physical invitations and stationery items to their guest list to say, hey, come and join us on Zoom. We're celebrating our marriage, but we're doing it a different way and you can join us online virtually.
And there's a whole bunch of things that you can do in terms of accessories, because if you're on Zoom, maybe everyone else will get like something, whoever's a guest and they all are on Zoom, maybe they'll get something, whatever the bride decides that would be matching, so that everyone would have like either a t-shirt that says I'm in the wedding party or I'm a guest or whatever. Like there's going to be so many fun things that people are going to think about, and you as a designer can think about as to how they can make the Zoom ceremony so much more fun, right? If it's something that they're wearing or something that they're all holding or something that like is in the background, like we did with our banner here, maybe that's the thing that you want to explore and consider as new ideas and innovative things that can make the Zoom wedding fun. Because, it's not going to be fun doing Zoom weddings, but if people are going to actually go and do it, let's make it the best it can be, right? And so there's a huge amount of opportunity for you to think outside the box and figure out what might people want that might be like a coordinating thing throughout the entire guest list.
Yeah.
And we always love that when we sell in multiples.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking about it. When Zoom calls first became a thing during the beginning of COVID, everybody was having like family reunion parties where they were all wearing the same t-shirt or they were all doing something similar. So you can definitely apply that to weddings as well. So the next point.
And this is what? This is now number 6.
Number 6.
Number 6.
Point number 6. So DIY decor is coming back in style.
So this is interesting. I mean, they have to, right? Because everybody, all the non-essential stores are shut down. And unless you get it through Amazon or something like that, it's not going, you don't have the florist there. You don't have the, the things, the party rental stuff and all that. So decor that you make yourself as a bride is necessary, right? And what is it that you could, as a Zazzle designer or e-commerce seller, figure out that might be helpful for the bride to create that decor? Mm-hmm. Or even have it as a like just order the decor. And that's something that is perfectly, like, we have so much on Zazzle to choose from in terms of product types that can help in terms of anything to do with decoration, whether it's just one-off for the bride to have in front of them when they're on their Zoom call, or if it's within a small party where people are coming together with the right number of people so that they're abiding by the regulations, and that the bride's bringing all this stuff and just putting it on the table. And so it's the whole gamut of things, whether that be like the banner that they walk on to go do the ceremony, or something on the chairs, or something, if they're allowed to be part of a small group of people that are eating together, then what is it that's going on the tables? You name it, you can think about how you can expand your product inventory for weddings that are based on people doing things that are DIY.
Yeah. Then the next point is, the 7th point and the last point is, bachelor and bachelorette parties will stay away from bars and crowded venues and will take places at house rentals through sites like Airbnb, and spend time in a more intimate, tiny group setting.
I love this because, first of all, instead of the hotel doing it now, the brides or whoever's organizing the party is going to just have a lot of fun creating these personalized welcome kits for whatever the theme is. And so you can do anything from matching clothing, whether it's t-shirt or robes or slippers or flip-flops or anything, or hats, or you name it. Bags to keep all your stuff in. And also then you can do things that are group activities and anything to do with games, cards, poker, like anything to do with like poker. Yeah, right away thought of poker.
Well, even like the cornhole sets, if it's something to do in the summer, but like definitely cards and puzzles. And then if I was even thinking now here, like if they're at a house, like an Airbnb, they might get like personalized towels or even like maybe a pillowcase, which is like, you can use it for what's going on in terms of the, let's say, bachelorette or bachelor party. But then later on, it's a keepsake that they get to keep forever, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so much fun. You can just go down the list of all the products on Zazzle and go, they could use that. They could use that. They could use that. And so the product inventory that you're going to come up with is going to be extensive if you want to get that involved. But the opportunities are right out there. And how many extra people? 650,000 in addition to the 2.1 million that normally marry every year. Holy smokes, that's a lot of couples. And so that's why the wedding market is so lucrative. And even though we do tell people that you don't need to be in the wedding market on Zazzle in order to make money, which is true because I don't actually sell that much to the wedding market. Jen does, but I don't. And so it's a nice balance because the two of us can say literally, okay, you don't need to do weddings. But if you are interested in doing weddings, especially now with all these other interesting things that are going on that are available for us to just think outside the box and do something unique and different, you have this whole new opportunity to be like equal playing field in terms of getting into the wedding niche in 2021. So I'm up for it. Are you up for it?
I'm super up for it.
Are you up for it? You want like listening in?
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yes. No, as Elka said, you don't have to be in the wedding market to make money, but it's definitely an opportunity to make money if you're interested in doing that.
Yeah. So, and it's not just making money. I like looking at it as we just did something really cool to make a bride feel better that she was in the circumstance and couldn't have her dream wedding the way she wanted.
Yes.
And if you think of it that way, you're going to do so much better than just, I need to make this much money.
Yes. I think that that's very true. In terms of us being Zazzle designers, sometimes we don't remember that there's an end customer who gets our product, which sounds really weird. But for me, because it's digital, I maybe there's a mental block or something, but I forget sometimes that you have literally created a product that has helped serve somebody, that has created an amazing experience, who has been part of their, one of the most special days in their entire lives, and that you've created this whole, like, just an amazing experience for them. especially if you did their invitations and their party accessories and all that jazz, and or even for their bachelorette party. And so if you think about it that way, if you want to help serve, if you want to help a woman and a man come together and have the best day of their entire lives and be part of that experience within your Zazzle products and just, give them some sort of uplifting feeling during these crazy hard times that we're having, then definitely get in the wedding market because that will make you feel really good.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know that you can ask us at any point how you can do better in the wedding market because we have some training for that as well. And we kind of know what we're doing because I did a calculation the other day and I've sold over 2 million invitations, invitations for weddings since I started on Zazzle. It's kind of fun.
I think I'm pretty much the same in the same area too. Yeah.
And so we kind of know what we're talking about. But in the meantime, we're excited about the weddings coming up in 2021 and how both you and we are going to profit because we're still active Zazzle designers. So we really know what we're talking about with regards to these trends. We're going to use these as well. And so we want you to start designing and do the best you can to leverage this weddings in 2021 to be as profitable as possible.
Yes. So thank you so much for listening to another one of our episodes in the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast on how to profit in the wedding niche and market in 2021 and what are the 7 key trends that are happening this year. And we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to The Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur with Jen and Elka Clark.
We hope this episode has given you actionable steps to start and scale your Zazzle business so that you can have the passive online income to have location and time freedom to live your dream life.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Each review helps us reach more creative entrepreneurs like you working to create a profitable e-commerce business.
And don't forget to take a screenshot and share it on your Instagram stories and tag us at Miss Jen Clark and at Elka Clark. We'd love to hear your biggest takeaways from today's episode. See you back here next week.